In this video, we'll do a chair design. Not much more to say, let's go. Hello, I'm Filip Manuilov, and in this video, I'll be doing a design for the chair. This is a thing that we did with actually quite a few people. So I had James on my team, Ariana, and Claire, and I want to thank you guys for contributing to the overall design of the process and the chair. And this was a competition that was organized by Buildner, and we actually submitted it quite recently. And this is the process and the design thinking of what we did. And the final presentation you will see in the end. It had to be an A2 sheet of paper that was submitted. I'll give you a short overview of the brief that was required for us to do from the competition. And to be fair, this whole thing was very abstract and it didn't give us too much detail to be based on. So the approach was to create an architectural chair, or like using an architectural approach for the chair design, and maybe referencing some of the classic chairs designed by the famous architects. We split up our objectives a little bit for the group. So in the beginning, I was doing the ergonomics of the chair, and you will see in the following video how I was designing and trying to just understand the proportions of the chair and just really getting into the various components, different angles, or how the person potentially might sit. And I tried to just burst with as many ideas and form factors as possible. And the rest of the team were doing a bit of materiality research, some of the aesthetics for the setting, and also like the form factors as well. So, and we were obviously talking to each other, cross-referencing different things. After making a bunch of these sketches, I actually remembered that I have a piece of tarpaulin that I could be using and maybe make a sketch model one-to-one out of the scrap woods that are remaining from the pallets, and that's what I actually did. So I've been sitting looking at various designs for chairs and just scrolling through some inspirations on Pinterest, looking different configurations, and one idea struck me, which I think is very buildable. So at this point I'm gonna kind of abandon sketching for now and almost abandon researching and go straight into building, actually, because I think this idea that I just had is actually really, well, relatively easy to construct, and I could actually make a chair in real life and test it and sit on it and see if the concept of my idea is working, which I think is actually super exciting. And I'm just gonna show you this. Right, so you see here these chairs, these are one of the examples. Some of them are classic chairs, but you see how leather is used as a surface which you can sit on. And I thought that's an amazing idea, because I have this piece of tarp laying around and I thought, what could I do with it? But then I just thought, wow, I could actually use this piece of tarp as a surface. And then for structure, I got a bunch of pallets around here in a skip. Like, look at these guys. And I think I could literally just assemble them in some way, put them together, put a piece of tarp, and gonna make a working chair. Let's go. Okay everyone, so I made this monster right here. Literally no measurements, nothing. I just approximated, destroyed some boxes. I don't know, this one still has cardboard over here, but that's basically the overall shape of it. It actually manages to be quite rigid. Like, I guess it even could hold my weight if I'm gonna put something on top of that. Literally out of sticks and bullshit. What is this? But it's a sketch model, and I will aim to refine this design later on. This is just to test the concept and see if it even works in the first place. That was like super quick, but really challenging because I barely had like any materials to be making this with. Okay, let's put some fabric on it. Okay, I just brought a piece of tarp that I had and I'm putting it like that. I'm gonna screw it just very lightly at the corners right here and on the other side as well, and hopefully that thing is gonna hold my weight, but we'll see. So the fabric is gonna bend as I sit in it, so this is supposed to be quite comfy, in my head at least, and let's hope this works. For sketch model I'm pretty happy. This is basically the result that I wanted it to be. Now it's time to understand whether that thing works and whether the proportions are right. By the looks of it, looks kind of okay. Let's see. Okay everyone, this is the moment of truth. Let's test this out. I'm actually hoping this is not gonna break. Okay. This works. Yes! Okay. It's a little bit high, you can see. And I wished it was a little bit longer, as in depth-wise. So you see this distance over here is not quite working. And yeah, it has to be a little bit lower. But I guess if I go deeper, then yeah, this distance will still be longer, but if it's deeper, it's going to be more comfortable on my legs, because that part is not amazing. But this goddamn thing works, and it's actually quite comfy. Nice. I'm just gonna walk around, show you from all the sides this masterpiece. So the bottom part has to be lowered, and I guess the depth has to be a little bit deeper. But that's kind of how I thought to approach this issue, is to, instead of endlessly sketching it, is to actually build it, and then I'm able to determine where the problem is, here or there, and put my hands onto it straight away. Also, I need to see what's going on with all the junctions, because at the moment they're a little bit unresolved, at least. But the shape is very strong. Triangles, nice and simple. That is the first design. In the end, this was basically just a concept that didn't get moved forward, because I think it was resembling with its principal surfaces a little bit like a deck chair, which I think it wasn't cool enough. And maybe I should work a bit more on this concept, and we'll get to something in the future. We were approaching a deadline and we still didn't have a distinct result that we were happy with. So I decided to simplify it quite a bit, and we went with a square and then added our form into that with an inclined, and actually we managed to come out with a concept that has two connecting elements, and one can be turned around and used as a footrest. And I think that was maybe not a genius idea, but it was a clever way to connecting two elements. That was, I think we've seen some precedents of this being done before, but we still went with that, and I think in the end it does look like quite a balanced chair and when it's put together and when it's taken apart as well. The proportions actually was referencing the Vasily chair, and that's where the angles are coming from. And then obviously we made it smoother for the comfort aspect. I was then drawing the final design in CAD. There was a scale drawing, and then I used this drawing to be transferred into SketchUp. I didn't really film the process of that, but I'll show you the final renders that came out of the SketchUp. And we used Enscape, therefore, to produce some additional renders. And then I used actually Midjourney to create a setting where I put the chairs into, and to create a bit of a realistic atmosphere, because we didn't really have time to be wasting on creating an additional setting, and that would be just basically time consuming. I'll probably make a different video for this. So basically what I did, I put the chair that I exported and I photoshopped it into the image created by Midjourney, and it actually turned out quite nice. And then after all these images were done, we assembled them all together. They spent quite a bit of time and made our final sheet. In terms of materiality, I think we still should probably do a little bit more work if that moves on, because at the moment I don't think it's just as strong as it could be. So definitely there's something to be explored. And we had the top part made out of a cushion, which makes it softer, and then the bottom part is a cork base, which makes it a bit more solid, and then it's colored into a different color to give it a bit of a more solid and heavy type of vibe. Overall, I think we got pretty happy with the final thing that we produced, and our design was actually quite cool. I personally do like it, and it turns out very interesting. I would like to have a sit on it. I think it does look quite comfy. That was it. That was our design for the chair. I think it turned out quite good. And if you want to see more design process like this, you should follow the channel and leave a comment, also leave a like. See you in the next video.